Just to request, inshallah, Dr. Abu Nasir used to reside in this community. He's currently in critical condition in California, where he moved to. Family has requested that we continue to pray for him. And also one brother of our community, his mother, Fatima, is in critical condition in Morocco. There are many people in our community who are ailing, who are, mourning loss of loved ones, who are feeling the pain of sickness. Today's Jumu'ah, let's pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everyone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant everyone shifa. Everyone who's facing difficulty and distress, may Allah relieve them from their difficulties and distress. And everyone who's passed on, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive their sins, elevate their ranks, and reunite them with their family on the Day of Judgment. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. My fellow elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, in Surah Fath, verse number 28, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a declaration and presents to us a promise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. It is Allah, it is He who sent His apostle, i.e. Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, with guidance and the true deen, that He may make it prevail over all others, and Allah is sufficient as a witness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, He is informing us, and He is promising us that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent by Him, that He was sent with a path of life which is a complete path of life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated and He promised لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّ, that this path will prevail over all paths. A messenger who was sent to the area of Hijaz, his effort is backed by Allah, and it's promised by Allah that the world will one day acknowledge and accept that the path of this lifestyle is complete, and that the path of this lifestyle is one that every person should consider to adopt. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا. Paraphrasing, leave it to Allah. Leave it to Allah. Allah will see it through. Before us, my fellow Muslims, is this verse. chapter 48, verse 28. And also before us is the global protests and marches and protests that are taking this ummah's focus away from what Allah has promised. France, the country with a rap sheet on Islamophobia, which date back longer than your and your parents' date of birth. As we see what's happening in the ummah, there is a lot of hype and fury right now. And understand that that messenger who was sent as a mercy to all the world is being mocked and humiliated. And the depictions of him are both demeaning and derogatory. But my question to all the Muslims today, why now? Why now? Because if you go back into their history, which I can't cover in the next 10 minutes, but let me give you a quick background of what France has been doing in the last 2 decades. We all know it started in 2006 with Charlie Hebdo when they started these depictions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ on the 9th of February. And they titled it Muhammad Overwhelmed by Fundamentalists. This was the front page which depicted a cartoon of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. It was that moment. I still remember that moment when I was arrested after coming off a plane in Paris with my wife because she wore a niqab. And we were escorted with 3 soldiers with Uzis in their hands, telling my wife she had to take off her niqab. And when I went to the bathroom to make wudu to pray Fajr, the man in the bathroom said, "Did you see what they did of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ?" And I personally didn't know what was going on. At that time, the ummah rose. The ummah rose with anger. How dare you talk about our Prophet ﷺ like this? What did he do to you? Let's boycott France and its products. But guess what happened after that? It fell. The hype went down. And we went back to our lives. In 2012, again, they depicted cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in September of that year, after there was a series of attacks on U.S. embassies in the Middle East. Again, provocation. You know what we as an ummah are good at? Being provoked and reacting to people's provocation. This is a reality. And then again, in 2015, because of this, gunmen forced their way into the headquarters of Charlie Hebdo, and we know what transpired. They killed 12 people. This is what they want to show to the world. This is you Muslims. You're violent, you react, you can't do anything productive. This is a global display, my dear brothers and sisters. Wake up and smell the coffee. Yes, we'll go protest. New York is having a protest this weekend because of Paris. Let's go protest. What will that do? Brothers and sisters, we need to start thinking strategically. If there was to be a boycott, it should have happened in 2006 and before. Why now? But guess what? Something new happened this time around. In 2020, this year, 1st of September, Charlie Hebdo, having nothing else better to do, stated that they were going to start republishing caricatures of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and we know that that started violent protests. And that led to a beheading, it led to violence, and something very unique happened this time. And I want you all to please listen to me attentively here. The Prime Minister of France stated, "The enemies of the Republic will not win." You see, till this year, it was an organization, it was a company within the country that was expressing their freedom of speech. And now the government of that country has tagged along and stated that the enemies of the Republic will not win. The difference this time round is the twist behind the hatred, not the reaction from the ummah. Macron delivered a spirited speech a few weeks ago, and he said that we won't renounce these caricatures. These pictures and descriptions, they're fine. It's good. People have the right to draw Muhammad ﷺ however they want. And if you've forgotten, the derogatory pictures that they made of the Prophet ﷺ. It hurts, it burns your blood, it boils you. But remember, هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. Let them mock, let them taunt, let them depict, let them curse, let them burn pictures of Muhammad ﷺ. Allah said, watch me. Islam will be known. Not the religion, not the fanatics, not the terrorism. That this is a life that we don't hurt people. This is a religion where we take care of people. This is a religion where we care for others before ourselves. That's called deen. Allah did not say Islam, that the deen will prevail, that the way of Islam, the attitude of Islam, the demeanor of a Muslim will prevail. And it will, but not by us reacting to their provocations. He also went on to say they are now planning a new bill to combat what they call Islamic separatism. Islamic separatism, and they are pushing for that. And he also stated in that speech that Islam is a religion that is in crisis all over the world. You know what happened on last Friday? While we were here in our homes? They projected those cartoons on government buildings. Government buildings across France and Paris itself. They projected at night pictures of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ naked. Pictures of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in very bad positions. And they were saying, what are you going to do about it? My fellow Muslims, Islam never came to teach us knee-jerk reactions. You talk bad about me, I'm going to talk bad about you. You speak about my mother, I'm going to speak about your mother. Islam never came for this. Islam came to present a sustained strategy how to uproot hatred, how to uproot racism, how to uproot prejudice, how to uproot all those things that are detrimental to the growth of humanity and the existence of humankind on this earth. We all know this isn't right. We all know this is not going to take France and that country towards a positive path. Because when you pick on one, you're going to pick on someone else tomorrow. Today it's the Muslims, tomorrow it's the Jews, then it's the blacks, then it's the immigrants. It's going to keep on continuing. So instead of my fellow Muslims screaming and yelling and tweeting and saying boycott, you should have boycotted them. You see, money in your pocket is your money. You should know how to spend your money. When someone makes fun of you, you don't go back into that business. When people make fun of your religion, you don't invest in their country. It's as simple as that. There's an economic power that the Muslims have that we fail to understand. So as the government of France is now backing this derogatory attitude, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open our eyes and understand what a sustainable strategy is and not to continue reacting to everything that we see and hear. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. My brothers and sisters in Islam, please hear me very carefully. When a government voices hatred, the citizens of that very nation become an open target. When a government voices hatred, the very citizens of that country become an open target. Because now it's coming from an official platform. And an official platform can hold severe consequences in those people. If you don't believe me, go look at what's happening in India. If you don't believe me, go look what's happening in Kashmir. We smell the smoke, my fellow friends. The fire is not far away. Yesterday, the President of the United States tweeted, "My administration has suspended the entry of refugees from terror-comprised nations such as Syria, Somalia, and Yemen." He said the name of his competitor plans to surge refugees 700% into Minnesota, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, burdening schools and hospitals while opening the floodgates to radical Islamic terror. Now, we all could say that, okay, he was joking in 2015, right? Remember when he said that we should strongly consider closing mosques in November 16th? Or when he said that absolute hatred is coming from these areas, these mosques were teaching hatred? Remember in December 17th of 2015 when he said, I'm calling for the total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering to the United States until our country's representatives can figure what's going on? And do you remember in December 8th of 2015 when he said, we have people out there who want to do great destruction to our country, whether it's 25%, 10%, or 5%, it's too much. In those days, he was not sitting on an official position. Today, he is. And his tweet from yesterday only goes to show, my fellow Muslims, if you think it's just talk, Macron used to talk just like that. And today, those actions are coming up straightly against the Muslim community. What is my message today? Go vote. Get out there and engage. The one thing I know, as someone who lived in Europe for 8 years and went back to visit not too long ago, the Muslims feel that being part of the fabric of society is un-Islamic. It's not important. You don't need to run, you don't need to vote, you don't need to engage. But then we also want to be respected and acknowledged and accepted in the society. You can't have it both ways. It's been announced over and over and over again from all platforms how important it is for us to go and vote. And yet we see in our Muslim community, amidst those who are not only immigrants, but those who are born and raised in this country, that they don't want to go and vote. Brothers and sisters, if you don't show who you are when claims will be made against you, it will be too late to prove them wrong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that the way of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will prevail. But I know it will not prevail by us screaming and shouting. It will prevail by us showing and demonstrating goodness and allowing people who harbor hatred to see the beauty of all people. Go vote. Go vote your conscience. Go vote for the sake of Allah. Go vote and make a pledge that you're going to be a part of this country. This is your home. Be a part of this country. Make change in this country. I swear by Allah, if you don't, the houses you build will be destroyed. The masjids that we created for our spirituality will be destroyed. And the children that we gave birth in this country will be taken out of this country. We send salutations and blessings upon Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who showed us a complete way of life and showed us how we should fix the problems that we see in our society. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad, abdika wa rasulika al-nabi al-ummi, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallama tasliman kathiran kathira. Allahumma aghfir lana dhunubana, اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم إنا نجعلك في نحورهم ونعوذ بك اللهم من شرورهم. اللهم اشف مرضانا، اللهم اشف مرضانا، اللهم اشف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا يا رب العالمين. وارحم موتانا يا رب العالمين، وارحم موتانا يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please ensure that our feet, the edge of our heel is on the tape, on the prayer mat, of course. Make sure that our prayer mats align with those around us. Ensure that the mask is covering your nose and your face. And inshallah, brothers and sisters, I know how much you want to pray our sunnahs and everything else. After the prayer, we humbly request those who are on this side, please exit from this door. Those who are on this side, exit from that door. Those who are in the back, please exit from the back door. Please do not stay around to pray sunnah. The place has to be prepared for the second jama'ah. Jazakumullah khair for your cooperation.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح